I'm coming in hot tonight, baby. I'm rocking and rolling, getting right back to the show per usual. Let me go ahead and get my little drops in there. Please be sure that you keep up with the last show that I did about the couple that were attacked while they were in South Asia. They traveled on bikes. They were just stopping for a second and they were attacked. And the man was brutally attacked and the woman was taped. Please be sure to check out that last show of mine that I did, as well as I talked about this lavish wedding that also went down in India in relation to the billionaires. The richest man's over there, his son. They had a big extravagant wedding, just showing you the duality of things that go on in just one, in one place. And I want to just move on and talk about a story out of about Africa, about what's going on in the Sudan again, because I've talked about it a couple more times, but this right here came out. Stories of survival in Sudan, DW documentaries. This came out and we watched it and truly just brought tears to my eye, dog. If you have a heart and you watch this video here, Lord have mercy. And I just want to make sure that I shine more light on the fact that it is, there are leaders there that are at war with each other with no signs of an end to what they're doing. And all of these people across the great continent of Africa are suffering. Truly just some horrifying stories, but please be sure to watch this video if you want any idea what's going on, something that you probably did not hear about, and it's the war in Sudan that you haven't noticed. A proxy war between Iran and the West unfolds in one of Africa's poorest countries, and there's no good outcome. Many Americans may understand that the theocratic regimen in Iran has for several decades supported and supplied militant Islamic groups in the Arab world, including Hezbollah in Lebanon, Hamas in Gaza, and the Houthis in Yemen. But very few have noticed that Iran has moved into Africa, sending military supplies to the Islamic military government in Sudan, now struggling for survival in the face of a powerful militia and civilian movement that in 2019 started a democratic revolution to end Islamic rule with the support of the U.S. and the UN. After the militias took Khartoum, the Sudanese capital, last April, the Islamic generals moved to Port Sudan on the Red Sea, where Iranian planes loaded with weapons have been landing. That's not far from Yemen, where the pro-Iranian Houthis now control much of the nation and have recently interrupted international sea lanes, resulting in airstrikes by U.S. and British planes, which I have also discussed on the show on how everybody has to go around the Cape of Good Hope, making trips, adding a whole nother week on the trips because you can't travel through the Red Sea due to the cargo ships being attacked. And the United States has also responded by doing drone attacks, where they also continue to hit on where the supplies is, because you can't keep going up using your big expensive stuff against not as well made drones, and they're attacking the SIU. And this is also retaliation, the attacks to the 3 Americans that were killed, if you were keeping up with that whole situation, that were killed by a drone that was mistaken to be a friend. Before the Houthis became a threat to Red Sea security, the Sudanese Islamic leader, then on the U.S. list of terrorist states, had negotiated with Vladimir Putin's government in Russia, which was eager to establish a military base on the Red Sea. Iran, seemingly eager to establish a Red Sea presence, was able to secure visitation rights for its naval base, naval vessels at Sudanese, put it there, at Sudanese ports. Let's keep on moving. Recent American bombardment of pro-Iranian militias in Yemen, Syria, and Iraq, which already seems to risk a wider Middle East war, could lead to efforts to obstruct the developing Iranian threat in Sudan, as well as Iran's recent influence building efforts in other African countries. The civil war in Sudan may be the first of its kind in one specific way. 2 national armies, the established Sudanese Armed Forces and its auxiliary known as the Rapid Support Forces, are fighting each other. Sudanese Armed Forces, get myself out of the way. Ran and in charge. He's the leader of the forces. Abdul Fattah al-Abur. He's the leader, and then the rapid support forces, Hemedti. They both used to be on the same team. They came together to overthrow this guy back in 2019, and in his power over he was the leader of Sudan. He was the foreign military officer, and he's in jail, but he was also, let's see if you want to know more about him, he's in detention on the 26th of April in 2023. In the midst of this war that broke out, the Sudanese armed forces stated that al-Bashir Bakri, Hassan Salah, Abel Rahim Mohammed Hussein, and two other former officers were taken from the prison, and they were taken to a hospital due to the conflict that erupted earlier that month. So currently he's probably in the hospital getting the best of treatment because his people got him out of jail. As I will talk about more with these whole jail breakouts, his people got him out, got him into some safety. But these two people that were once a part of the same squad when they overtook the last guy are now beefing with each other. And Lord, there seems to be no end in sight. Among many historic ironies at work here, the RSF were established by General Omar al-Bashir, the Islamic leader who led a 1989 coup that toppled a democratically elected government and then ruled the country for 30 years until the 2019 Democratic Revolution. So that's some more backstory on who Omar was. He led a coup in 1989, took the democratically elected government out, ruled for 30 years until the group now that are both beefing with each other until they overtook him. Fearing a potential military coup, al-Bashir adopted the RSF to defend his regiment, but the group's leader, General Mohammed Hadim, known as Hemedti, quadrupled his forces within a few years to about 100,000 soldiers, roughly the same as the Sudanese armed forces. The general, leader Abdul Fattah Burhan, a disciple of al-Bashir, has been reluctant to support the democratic revolution, seemingly to protect the military's extensive investment in the country's economy, which are said to amount to 80% of the total. A similar pattern pertains among the ruling generals in neighboring Egypt. One such investment is the entity called the Defense Industry System, sanctioned last year by the U.S. Treasury Department, which described it as Sudan's largest defense enterprise, generating an estimated $2 billion in revenue via hundreds of subsidies across various sectors of Sudan's economy. So where does this lead the people? Where does this lead everybody? In a 2023 report with the Washington Middle East Institute, an Iran renewed Africa policy detailed the Islamic Republic expanded intervention in Africa, not only at governmental level, not only on the government levels, but also cultural, academic, and religious networks. Iran hopes to achieve a tenfold increase in trade with Africa, the report found, largely based on a percentage that Western influence, especially American influence, is fading dramatically. And I also pay close attention to that too, that America is losing more and more influence in Africa as Russia and different like Iran and all these countries like that are getting closer into the country. Getting closer into the country and making better ties by the United States, doing sanctions in different areas. Well, our relationships are getting strained, but they're getting stronger. I don't want them having Africa on their side when it comes to other countries. But the United States got to also throw a bone over to Africa. America helps Africa. Isn't that? Don't let that be mistaken. I can go and look up things right now in relation to what's going on in the Congo. Things like that. I can pull up a couple of things, but let's be sure that we're being mindful and sharing this story because of the women, children, and the women, men, and children that are suffering in the Sudan, and it seems to just be this forgotten thing. I don't know, it's just because people don't understand what's going on or what, but I'm trying to make sure that I let you know it's two leaders that are just beefing with each other until somebody is put into a casket, and then from there on, we'll probably get still no real leadership because once you take out the head, they still got people that work with them that are under them as well. So I'm just wishing for the best here. Please check out this video where you hear some truly heartbreaking stories, but heartbreaking or not, it should inspire you to turn around and then share and do a little bit more research on what's going on in the Sudan. It's the N.y.a show. Let me know what y'all thoughts are. Iran in their relationship with Africa and what's going on in this specific area of Sudan, and the supplying, trying to put weapons on one side to arm another team. Nah, that's not the best look right now. But you let me know what y'all thoughts on the story. It's the N.y.a show, and I appreciate y'all per usual. Go back up. Let's see if I can get us to go back up to the top one more time. one more time. Iran's troubling move into Africa and the war in Sudan. You haven't noticed. Be sure to check out, comment, and share the video. Appreciate you.